Hello and thank you for joining us on the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. I am Binga Oreshegun. Today on the program, TV tells President Tinubu that Benue is under terrorist siege, not farmer herder clashes, as security chiefs get mandate to hunt killers. DSS officials tells court IPOB killed more than 170 security agents in the southeast, caught eating human flesh. And later on the show, Lagos seals hotels, lounges over noise pollution. Well, I'll be hanging out with Paul Dada and Tunde Abaton. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin the conversation. Security concerns often demand clarity of language, especially when lives and livelihoods are at stake. In Benue State, the TVC has raised an alarm over what he describes as a well-planned genocidal invasion by terrorists and armed bandits. Addressing President Bola Tinubu in Makurdi, the paramount ruler dismissed the narrative of farmer-herder clashes, insisting that the crisis is far more coordinated and destructive than commonly portrayed. The president, in response, directed security agencies to take decisive action, ordering the immediate tracking and arrest of those behind the violence. As the region continues to reel from loss, this reframing may force a re-evaluation of Nigeria's security strategy in the North Central. Okay, so let's start the conversation this way. I mean, looking at the narrative from the traditional ruler, TVC, where he said it is genocidal, and even he went on to say that Benue politicians are fueling this crisis. I mean, talk to me. How do you see it?
Well, I think for a kind of operation of this scale, when you murder about over 100 people, it means that it's not something that was planned within a day. Has been a systemic thing. And when you look at the issue of, I think time it is for us, for the government, to take another look at the natural narrative that it is farmers' herders clash. This could not be farmers' herders clash, because if you are a herder or a farmer, sure, you cannot go all out to eliminate the very people on which you want to sell your products to, the very land that you want to trade. Go all out to murder them in such a large scale. So I think the federal government has to take a second look, because the moment we keep on focusing on one particular direction, we are not likely to get to the root of the matter. And if we don't get to the root of the matter, there will be a recurring decimal in what we are witnessing in Nigeria today. It is unfortunate that a group of people can set out to eliminate, even if it is a reprisal attack, you cannot carry out such a reprisal attack on this particular magnitude and scale. And if they can go away with this kind of thing, it means our security agencies, both the intelligence arm, has failed. But because for them to have a free day, so I think the president and the federal government has to take a second look at the kind of narrative we have always been told every time. It is beyond, I am convinced that it is beyond farmers' herders clash. It is not impossible.
So you agree with the traditional rulers?
It is not impossible. 100%. At this particular stage, on the murder or this kind of scale, on this scale, over 100 people within it is more than a mayhem. I think I want to agree with you that it is something that was sustained and deliberately planned to achieve a particular purpose. The purpose may not be something that we want to see now, but I think the government has to begin to look at other narratives, look at other angles in order to get to the root of this matter.
I mean, Paul Dada, let's look at it. I don't know about you, okay, but when you saw the traditional ruler, you know, were you surprised, or should I say, were you impressed by the way the traditional ruler was able to tell the president that, hey, it is not what you're thinking, this is more than what you're thinking? I mean, the true state of things in Benue.
First, I need to commend that traditional ruler for speaking truth to power. For me, the issue is not whether it's terrorism or farmer-herders clash. It's about the fact that this is one destruction too many. It's not new. It's been happening continuously without any let-up in Benue, also Plateau State. It's about the fact that it was a wanton destruction of lives and property. You had almost 200 people gone. Between 2023 and 2025, I think there's a record of almost 2,000 people being wiped out in the so-called farmer-herder clashes. Whatever, for me, it's not about the nomenclature you give to it, whether it is perpetrated by people, by herders who encroach on the farmlands of people who are just trying to make an honest living, whether you call them terrorists or not, the fact look, I watched an interview of one of them who said he lost 20 family members. Imagine the trauma that guy will have to deal with, not even for years. 20 family members killed, including his father. That's what we are talking about. We're talking about the fact that there is wanton destruction. We're talking about the fact that the security agencies have not been able to nip this in the bud. We're talking about the fact that these things, we are more reactive than proactive. When it comes to this incessant, destruction of lives and property. Yes, the third thief spoke his truth. Others might have another way of looking at it. In fact, if you ask, for example, the Herders Association, they may have their own narrative. But there's one thing all of us can't deny. Lives were destroyed. No matter how you are looking at it, when you want to define it as farmer-herder clash, it's fine. You want to define it as an orchestrated terrorist destruction or something, attack, it's fine. But what is important is that lives are being lost.
True. And
something must be done about it.
All right. I mean, now the president has visited. Sunday, what next?
Well, I think beyond the normal condolences to the traditional ruler and the people of that state, I think I want the president to implore the service chiefs and the security to have a change of tactics. We cannot continue to deal with an age-old problem in the same way. You come, make a statement, make a proclamation. At the end of the day, 3 months later, 2 months later, the same thing will repeat itself on a larger scale than you ever imagined. So I think the president, in collaboration with the service chiefs and security agencies, have to find something. This time around, we have to get to the root cause of this thing. Like I said, it is not possible, it is not feasible for people within that particular vicinity to organize such a thing on such a large scale without the connivance of insiders, factors and principalities within. So we have to look beyond the borders of Nigeria, if possible, and look at the neighboring states. If those people could escape, could commit such, I was surprised that the president can say that the police have not arrested anybody. Of course, yes, they defeated our security agencies, intelligence arm, they defeated us by doing that kind of thing on such a large scale without anybody defecting. Exactly. Benue State it's not bigger than probably Niger State. There has to be the whole of southeast of Nigeria, Niger State is bigger than that. So I think Benue State, because of the farming community, the security agency should be able to do that thing without necessarily relying on others. But then, if they can do such thing on such a large scale, it means that we have to look within. Okay. For them to get out, we have to look within. If they don't have anybody within, or any system within, or collaborators, or stakeholders within, they wouldn't have gotten away with that kind of thing.
I mean, the president did something, which, if we go down memory lane, if you remember during the time of Anini, when former military ruler general asked the Inspector General, my friend, where is Anini? The president also asked the Inspector General of Police, why have they not been arrested? That is the question. What's going on?
Yes, the question the president asked, the president had to talk tough. He had no choice other than to talk tough, because this is the president of the country, is the chief security officer of the country. He appointed the IGP to do his work. He appointed the service chiefs. He did not only task the IGP, he also tasked the DSS and the NIA to step up their surveillance and intelligence gathering ability. He told them to step up their intelligence gathering activities, rather. So I think that the president was right to do that, to say that, but we shouldn't be waiting for the president to say that before they even know to do that.
So, I like that point.
Yeah, we shouldn't be asking.
Do they need to, the service chief, do they need to be told?
They don't need to be.
Do they need to be given directives before they...
So, but
you know,
but you see,
they don't need to be told.
The truth of the matter is, you cannot continue to do the same thing the same way and expect a different result.
Absolutely.
So the issue is this: what is the level of our intelligence? How do we gather intelligence? The point is that these things keep, what really baffles me is that this keeps happening. This keeps happening again and again and again and again. Is it that we are afraid of touching some people? Because if you ask, it's been said even politicians are involved.
Yes,
Why don't we just call a spade a spade? Why don't we just tackle this thing headlong? People's lives are being destroyed. Property destroyed. Everybody should step up their game, and that is the truth. Then also, I think that we are not too very serious about what we are doing. For example, we've heard of cases of community leaders being in cahoots.
Yes.
With. I think also we can do something like, okay, if a community leader and terrorist activities are happening under your watch, you could be suspended. You could be suspended. So let us make sure that we need whatever we have to do. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sure.
Set up forest guards. I think we have them already. Empower them. Then the issue of state police.
Exactly.
It's not what you need to. The other time when NEC met. National
Executive
met and all of that, they said that they pushed the issue of state police for they didn't have the time to discuss all of that.
I was surprised by that.
Honestly, I was very disappointed. I was actually disappointed to hear that. I think we are not, the issue of security, we are not putting it, it seems not to be a priority. I don't know what's
talking
happening.
about setting up.
Yes.
The president directed the governor to set up a committee, comprising of former governors and traditional rulers. He said he's ready to meet with them, maybe in Abuja, and he's ready to invest in peace. But this move, this approach, are you confident that it will work? Are you confident that it's a step in the right direction?
Well, I think the security issue in the country today has gone beyond talk shop. We have had a lot of conferences, we have a lot of meetings, we have a lot of committees, we have a lot of aggregations that have been set up for similar cases over a long period of time. I think it is time for us to be able to sit down and sieve out all the recommendations that are made based on our experiences of the past and be able to do something definitive in this time. If the president about 3 months ago mooted the idea of forest rangers, let us have it in all the local governments of Nigeria, and those rangers have to be people within that particular locality so that we can stop this thing.
No, but the former governor of Benue State actually, came up with this. What happened to that? I thought the forest guards.
Well, I think is that the problem with Nigeria is that some people, some principalities are afraid of Nigeria solving its own problem because I don't know the big deal in trying to tackle security issue. The first duty of any government in any part of the world is to guarantee the safety of its citizens.
True.
And when a government cannot guarantee the safety of its citizens, that government legitimacy is being seriously questioned because you have to guarantee that people can move from one part of the country, from one part of the state to the other. I think the president has to take the bull by the horn and put in necessary action towards making sure that all the state government matter has come to a stage now whereby we have to do something about these people who are disturbing the peace of Nigeria. Let us have forest guard. Let us have multi-level policing. Policing on the local government level, policing on state level, and policing on the federal level.
Okay.
Everybody is now aware and convinced that this kind of federal police setup cannot solve the insecurity situation in Nigeria. It cannot solve it. Let each of the states. If states can afford to have security agencies, task force, every other thing, it means they could be able to afford state police. Let them put all the resources they are using all the security food they get every month
Okay.
without securing anybody. Because as far as I'm concerned, most of the governors cannot secure their states in Nigeria. If governors cannot secure their state, let us have institutions like state police and federal government coming out with federal forest guards to safeguard the lives of the citizens.
I mean, BKO said
security is the first thing that anybody should do, any government should do.
BKO said they are not chief security officers of the state.
They are not
chief
security,
logistics
they are the officer of the
the
So
state.
let the state governors
Exactly.
do something about protecting and securing the lives and property. You want foreign investors to come, and people are just massacre on this large scale, and you want foreign investors to come.
Okay,
they
now,
won't come.
Now, the president has given the service chiefs directive. Go after these killers. I mean, that's a very strong marching order. Go after them. He has asked a question. He asked the question, how come these people have not been arrested? Now, he has given them the marching orders. Go and get them.
There have always been marching orders. Security chiefs have held several meetings with the president. The NSA is working. I think we should just try and see how to change our methods or how to upgrade our methods.
Are you talking about changing the entire security architecture?
No. We talk
of the
about
country?
state police, for example. There's nothing also wrong in setting up civilian joint task forces in Benue and Plateau State, like we had in the Northeast.
In the Northeast.
And the JTF, the civilian JTF, actually helped
the
military.
The exploits.
There's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong in giving them night vision goggles. There's nothing wrong in empowering them with drones. There's nothing wrong with all of that. Equipping them to be able to monitor and mount surveillance, take surveillance measures. There's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong in winning the confidence of the local populace. I mean, I'm talking about security agencies now. Winning the. Then they must also be seen not to be partial. Because look,
there's a trust deficit between the people and the security
Exactly.
agencies.
Because there is this allegation that the whole thing is being politicized. You can't politicize lives. People need to be, you don't need to play the ostrich here. What is the problem? Are there truly, are the herders, are there truly bad eggs among the herders? Because you see, the truth of the matter is, sometimes I think the authorities have not fully defined what is happening. And that's what Totti was saying.
Now, hold on.
They are not looking at it
just
as...
hold on a bit. You said, even though the traditional rulers said this thing has been politicized, Benue politicians are behind this. I heard someone say that if the traditional can be bold enough to have said that, he should go a step further by naming names.
Yeah, he may
Tell us that. Don't just give a blanket.
He may not say that. No, he may not say that in the public.
Why?
He may not say that in the public. But he should give that information.
So the security agents.
Yes. And if there are truly politicians behind it, let's grab them. Let's grab them. Let's nab them. There should be no sacred cows. That's what
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
If politicians are behind it, it means one thing. That they are more interested, what they are interested in is more than in ruling that particular state. They are interested in causing serious destability.
No, some people profit from crisis.
Is it to bring about state of emergency in the state?
Because
or
if you want to preside, there's a Yoruba adage which says that you don't urinate into a river you are going to drink from. You are killing the same set of people that you want to rule. Is this sensible? So which means their ultimate aim may not necessarily be to rule that particular state.
But we need to know those politicians. We need to know that.
The thing is that the moment we keep on hiding behind one finger and begin to see, we won't get to the root of the matter. So if the traditional ruler can come out to say some kind of thing, I think he has to give out information that ordinary Nigerians don't have to know to the security agencies. And security agencies have to act on that particular information so that there has to be a change of narrative. We are tired of having the same story all over. If they go to Plateau State, the same story. If they go to Benue State, the same story. No, only yesterday, the governor of Sokoto State said that they are also negotiating with bandits. What has been the result of the negotiation? The governor of Katsina State had with bandits about 3 years ago.
Yes.
Now, the former president has to relocate from Katsina State, his home state, back to Kaduna because of the I know it is not impossible that it is the activities of these of these terrorists. Which government in any part of the world mentioned that will go and negotiate with terrorists? You are negotiating with terrorists, giving them money in camera.
But okay, now to round up this conversation, just in 1 minute. Now that the president has visited, do you think Benue State will have, some level of peace and stability and some of the things planned?
If the security agencies and the government do the needful, if not, these people will be emboldened enough to do something, to commit sin, crime on a worse scale.
So the political will needs to be there.
There has to be political will. We have to do something that is bigger, that they will take the government more serious. Not than this talk shop. Enough of talking.
Let me talk to
just in 1 minute.
Governor Halia. Governor Halia, you need to show that you are more sensitive towards the people's plight. The jamboree-like welcome you get to the president was not necessary. The public holiday you declared was not necessary. People trooping to see. In fact, if they should have won Ashwebi, they should have all of them should have been in black. Showing the president how
that we're mourning.
That we're mourning. So, Governor Halia should. I don't know how Governor Halia sleeps. I don't know how he sleeps. How he's able to sleep with his two eyes closed. Please, Your Excellency, do everything you can to make sure that your state stops burning. Absolutely.
Very, very, very strong one coming from Paul Dada. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation. Now, internal security threats continue to pose